So what if you could turn simple words into massive sales? Now, it's not some kind of magic trick, it's a science. And today, we're going to break down the most profitable secrets of persuasive writing straight from the playbook, Copywriting Riches.
And let's just start with the claim right on the cover. $10 million from simple ads. I mean, come on. That's not just a bold statement. It's a promise that the secrets behind that incredible number are learnable, they're repeatable, and they are ridiculously powerful. The first thing you're probably asking is, how, right? How does just, everyday writing generate that kind of wealth? Well, it's not magic, it's all about psychology. And we're about to unpack the 4 most important secrets to making it happen for yourself.
Okay, first up, the headline. The book is absolutely crystal clear on this. If your headline fails, the rest of your ad, doesn't matter how brilliant it is completely invisible. It's your one and only shot. You can't mess it up.
Think about it for a second. We are literally drowning in information all day long. You don't have minutes to make your case, you have seconds. Your headline is the ultimate filter. It has to be powerful enough to stop someone mid-scroll and convince them that whatever comes next is worth their precious time.
Just look at the psychology here. Increase your profits is fine. It's a vague promise our brains just kind of ignore. But increases profits by thousands in under 2 minutes? Whoa, that's specific. It creates a picture in your head. It feels real, tangible, and honestly pretty irresistible. Your brain can't help but ask, okay, how do I do that? That's why specificity sells.
And this totally flips a common myth on its head. You know that old rule, keep it short and sweet? For headlines, that's just wrong. A truly great headline does all the heavy lifting. In just a few seconds, it has to answer all the reader's immediate questions. What is this thing? How does it work? And the most important one of all, what amazing benefit will I get out of it? All right, let's dive into our second secret. Once you've grabbed their attention with that killer headline, you have to hold it. And the key is to stop talking about your product and start talking about them.
Check this out, this is wild. A legendary subscription letter for Newsweek, one that ran for 2 decades, by the way, used the word you and its variations 30 times on the very first page. 30! That was definitely not an accident. That was a very deliberate strategy. This is what the book calls you-oriented copy. It's so simple but so powerful. When you use the word you, you're basically breaking the fourth wall. It's no longer a faceless company just broadcasting a message. It suddenly becomes a one-on-one conversation. It says, hey, I'm talking directly to you, and that is incredibly difficult for any reader to ignore.
So here's the most crucial takeaway for this section. Your reader is always, even if it's subconsciously, asking one simple question. What's in it for me? A feature is what your product is. A benefit is what your product does for them. You have to always lead with the benefit, and you'll keep them hooked.
Okay, so you've hooked them with the headline, you've engaged them with you-oriented copy. Now for the make or break moment. You have to get them to act. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now.
This right here is one of the most powerful psychological triggers in all of marketing. It's a fact. People are more motivated to avoid losing $10 than they are to find $10. Your copy has to tap into this by creating a sense of scarcity or a real fear of missing out on something great.
Now is not the time to be subtle. You have to explicitly tell people exactly what you want them to do next. It sounds so simple, but you'd be shocked how many ads fail right here. They make the reader think, and the second a customer has to stop and think, you've probably lost a sale.
So the crucial point is this. Later is the enemy of the sale. It just is. Whether it's a limited time offer, a bonus that expires, or a limited quantity, you have to give them a compelling reason to act immediately. Without that urgency, even a customer who's interested will put it off, and then, they just forget.
On to our final secret. And honestly, this might be the most important one in today's world. Because all these other techniques, they're totally useless if your reader simply doesn't believe a word you're saying. And these days, our default setting is skepticism.
You know exactly what this feels like, right? We're all bombarded with ads and clickbait every single day, so our brains have built up this powerful advertising filter. Your first job isn't even to sell anymore, it's to prove you're credible enough to even be heard in the first place. So how do you do that? Well, you systematically dismantle their skepticism, piece by piece. First, you reverse all the risk with a strong guarantee. Then, you provide social proof with tons of real testimonials. You show you're a real business by sharing your contact info. And finally, and this is a big one, you build massive trust by admitting potential flaws up front. It makes you seem radically honest, Now, these secrets, headlines, making a personal connection, urgency, trust, they feel really modern, right? Like they were born in the age of marketing. But what if I told you their roots go back thousands of years?
The source material makes this really fascinating connection, arguing that these principles of persuasion aren't new at all. In fact, they can be found in the #1 best-selling book of all time.
That's right, the Bible. And when you stop and think about it, it makes perfect sense. The book argues these strategies aren't just for copywriting. They are the fundamental principles of persuasive human communication, and they've been used for millennia. Just look at the parallels. Stressing benefits over features, that's the serpent in the Garden of Eden. Using multiple powerful testimonials, well, that's the 4 Gospels telling the same core story from different perspectives. Creating urgency, the message is consistently act now. These principles are absolutely timeless because they're wired directly into human psychology. So let's bring it all together. A powerful headline, you-oriented copy, a super clear call to action that creates urgency, and a foundation of rock-solid credibility. This right here, this is your toolkit for persuasive writing.
And in the end, that's the goal, let's be honest. This isn't about writing for entertainment. As the book says, every single word is a tool chosen specifically to guide the reader from skepticism all the way to action.
Look, the power to persuade people through simple words is one of the most valuable skills you can possibly have. You've just been handed the keys to the kingdom, so the only question left is, what are you going to build with them?